Hello there, meet my new friend, Spiky the Scorpion. Turns out, when you fight giant scorpions, sometimes they drop little baby ones, and if you pick it up and take it home, you too can have your own pet, scorpion, that is. And if I put a saddle on him, I'll be able to ride him apparently. I have read though that it's a good idea to keep them away from the rest of your pets, which is why he's down here, as far away from Pablo as possible. I have a whole load I want to get through today, because I want to make a start with Buildcraft Energy at long last. However, just as I was thinking about making a start with that, I broke through into these caverns, and I thought, oh, I'd better have a quick look around here, just to see what's what. And while I'm at it, I thought it would be a great opportunity to show you my new spell. Obviously, I've had the jump spell for ages, which I don't use very much, all told. But now I have Firebolt, and I will just demonstrate on these vines. I don't think it does any damage as such, but it sets things on fire, which obviously doesn't do them any good. So it's good for clearing out vines at any rate. But I'm just going to have a quick look along. And set that gravel off. So let's just. I just want to light up enough for me to come down here and mine, because I'm running very low on certain substances. And if I can find something to set on fire, so much the better. Well, there's a bat. I'm not going to start on that. I don't want to go too deep, but this is probably quite useful. As you know, I desperately need diamond at the moment. Oh, right. Oh. That is a bat horse, but he seems to be caught in a spider web. Poor chap. Hold still, would you? Boomf. Oh, okay, let me try that again. There we go. Oh, I think I've annoyed him. Splendid. So anyway, probably quite a fun spell for house defense. Don't use it near anything you own, is the lesson I learned. I was testing it, and I set a perfectly good tree on fire. Luckily, it wasn't a tree I was particularly attached to. That I see the eyes of an Enderman. Dare I dare. I mustn't look at him. Don't look at them, and don't look directly at them, and you'll be. Oh, okay. He is huge, and there's a creeper. Okay, I need to deal with this first. My timing's been all off these recently. Okay. Tell you what. Why don't I just set him on fire? That seems like the sensible thing to do. Or maybe not annoying him was the sensible thing to do. Where's he gone? These things just creep me out. Oh, maybe he ran off. Oh well, I'll just light this up and I'll head back to the circle. Oh, I don't know what that is, but that looks interesting. I will come and mine this off camera a bit later. I keep trying to fight Endermen, but they always seem to just run away, which is a bit of a pain, because I really need some Ender pearls. Never mind. I'll meet you back up top, and we'll get to work. I've come up into the biolab where all the bee magic happens. Oh, sorry, I think there's somebody at the door. With you in a second. I don't want any. Right. Fine. As you can see, my berry bushes are getting a little out of control. Yes, the reason I need all this Buildcraft energy is to build a beerlizer. A beerlizer requires a carpenter. It's something you build in the forestry carpenter device. Now that's fairly simple to make, except it's going to take quite a lot of bronze. I've shown you how to make that previously. You just mix tin and copper dust. So first of all, you need a sturdy casing. These are something you'll use for an awful lot of different forestry bits and bobs. But it's just a ring of bronze. Next, you just place the sturdy casing in the middle, and then bronze along the sides, and glass at the top and bottom. And that is the carpenter device. I will just pop that here for now. As you can see, it's quite a complicated thing. There is a liquid storage facility for water, mostly. I think you can put lava in there as well for certain things, and seed oil and all sorts of stuff. It can take resources and output them in Buildcraft pipes. I've not done anything with all that before, so it's all going to be quite complicated, I should imagine. But the most important thing is it requires Buildcraft energy to get anywhere. So, quite a lot of things we're going to have to craft. I'm going to. You can create Buildcraft energy through an awful lot of different means. There are many different engines, steam engines and coal-powered, oil-powered, whatever you like. But I'm going to go for a very easy one, which is once again from forestry, and it's the clockwork engine. The great thing about the clockwork engine is that it doesn't require any fuel. It just requires you to turn the clockwork. So it's not very powerful, but it gets the job done. So first of all, I'm going to need a piston. The pistons are a vanilla recipe. You can use them for all sorts of things, but today it's just going to be an ingredient. So it's 3 planks along the top, an iron in the middle, cobblestone on the left and right, and then one of my precious supply of redstone. Although I've got a decent supply of redstone now, thanks to all those chests I've been finding. So there's the piston. To make the clockwork itself, I'm going to need some gears. So I need sticks for gears. Because first of all, you start with a wooden gear, like that, and then you upgrade it to stone, in the same way, surrounding it with stone. And then finally, I assume the wood and the stone ones are for something other than just sub-combines, one would hope. And then we have a copper gear. I think I've got everything I need. So we have the copper gear, the piston, the clock that I made, I think back in episode 6 or so, for this very, very purpose. When I found my first redstone, and then a piece of glass. I don't know why you have glass in a clockwork engine, but who am I to judge? And there we are, 3 planks along the top, and there is the clockwork engine. So now, if I place the clockwork engine next to the carpenter, you can connect them by cables if you prefer, or pipes I should say, but you can just put it right next to it, and that's just the easy thing to do. So now if I right click, if I just keep right clicking it, I'm slowly winding it up, and then it will go red eventually, which means it's full. And there we go. It's now putting probably about, and it doesn't stay wound for very long. This is going to be quite a labor-intensive way of making Buildcraft energy. But because so much other Buildcraft machinery requires parts that can only be made in Buildcraft machines, the clockwork engine is a really good way of getting your foot on the ladder. With a sudden sinking feeling, I realised that I don't have the ingredients to make anything really in the carpenter just yet. So I'm just making a few more bronze ingots. In fact, that's as many as I need. Because I'm going to make a centrifuge. The centrifuge is a device primarily for spinning honeycomb, and it will allow me to get the good stuff out of it, the propolis and the honey. So it's sturdy casing, once again, glass at the top and the bottom, and then copper along the sides. And that's a centrifuge. I wasn't expecting to make this today, but I thought I'd better make something with this device. Was put it here, and I just need to grab my clockwork engine and pop that there. Now, if I just grab some honeycomb, I've got an awful lot of the stuff, so this is well worth doing. If I then put the honeycomb in here, I guess, and then I'll give this another punch and see what happens. Is that... yes, there we go. The little bar is rising. I had to think about what that was called. And they look quite similar, really, don't they? And there we go, beeswax and honey drops. These are just the very standard honeycombs, of course. The fancier bees make fancier honeycombs, and you can get far more interesting things out of it. Oh, I never showed you this. I've got a rocky beehive in my house because rocky bees you care about rocky bees feed on stone rather than flowers, so you get rocky combs from them, and they're just nice to have around the house. I guess they send their little bee animations everywhere. So this is each honeycomb is turning into one honey drop and one beeswax. And if you're keen on bee farming, you end up with a lot of honeycomb. As you can see, I've got parched combs, frozen combs, silky combs, mundane combs, and indeed plenty of rocky combs. I don't know what all the different things I'll get out of those are, but I will run them all through the centrifuge. Just need to wind this up a bit more. As it winds down, it provides less energy, so things go slower. Let's try a different sort of honeycomb and see what we get. We'll try a rocky one because I've got tons of those. So I'll just give it a bit more of a wind. Don't want to break it. If you wind it too much, it will break. Don't do that. But once it goes red, you just stop winding. So let's see what you get from a rocky comb. It may be exactly the same. These are all basic combs. So you may not get anything particularly fancy, and even the fancy ones, you don't get a special ingredient from every single comb. No, it looks like I'm mostly getting honey drops and beeswax from those as well. That's okay, because now, well, not now, because I still need a diamond, but I'm getting much closer to the fabled beerlizer, and then we can get into some serious bee breeding. I'm mostly going to be using the honey drops to power the beerlizer and other bee-related tools, but there is one other thing we can do with honey drops right now. If we take a loaf of bread and surround it with honey drops, like so, we can get honeyed slices, which are a bit more nutritious. And certainly 4 honey slices will last you much longer than a single loaf of bread, so there's the food aspect to it. Anyway, that, I think, is pretty much all I have time for today. So we now have a very basic Buildcraft setup. This is going to have to get far more complicated before it's done. But we've made a start, and at least now I have a source of energy. And that's it for today. Got in a bit of a mess there a few times, but muddled my way through. Gonna have to edit this thing to Timbuktu and back to make it watchable. I suspect. But I hope the end result ends up being somewhat useful, and you had fun, and I'll see you next time.